Hey guys, welcome to another Flea Market Finds. This is from a tractor show swap meet back in July, and this was not a bad show. First pick of the day, I went to a dealer and he let me basically buy the entire contents of the toolbox that he had for sale with a couple other items, and we cut a deal. And all of that is in this box right here, and it came to 80 bucks. Make some room, blow right through this real quick. Alright, let's start with this. You can see right in the back here it says made in Germany. And what we have is a nice radius gauge set. Alright, this is Etalon, which is Swiss made. Nice. Dial calipers. Now, I have never owned a pair of Etalon dial calipers. Boy, these are really nice and smooth. And paperwork's in there too. Not too crazy about how difficult it is to open the box in this thing. And it looks like a screw fell out, so that looks like what goes right here, but that's not missing. Alright. Looks like for Stair at 120. Dial calipers, box, empty. Oh, this is nice. This is a Stair at 823B. Inside micrometer set. Looks complete. Even got the handle. And the micrometer itself is a little stiff, but not frozen. Oh, an old Stair at Vernier. Is this a master Vernier? This is a number 123 master bar. Yeah, this is a little bit higher end than just a regular old Stair at Vernier. And this box that has some kind of weird stuff that hardened on it. It's a really early box. And what it's got in it is a bunch of like master type standards. These are all marked Pratt and Whitney. And the unusual thing is that in here, in this set with these, is this Brown and Sharp micrometer head. So I don't know what to make of this. I don't know if this originally, like maybe if that was just another one of these in here or what. And this one actually I think is a Stair. That's a Stair Master. Now this mismatch set, I think it's been this way for a while, because I actually see up here where they recorded it on the calibration sheet, and they actually made notes that indicate that this is exactly what they did, was they checked what was in the case at the time. I'm probably going to split those up. And then also in the box was this. Unfortunately, it was in contact with whatever this red stuff. I think this might have been some Dykem that was in there. So this is made in the USA, but I think it's badged Craftsman. No, General. So this is a adjustable parallel set, complete set. And if I can clean this Dykem off of the plastic, it'll be a decent buy for somebody. Oh, it'd be a decent buy for somebody either way, really. Before we dive into the rest of what's in this box, figured I'd show it. This cleaned up fairly well. Got most of the red off, so that'll be a nice set. Got a Craftsman 9-4029 Protractor. Got a nice Mitutoyo satin chrome Vernier. So that's actually not too bad. No case for it though. Got a V-block, unmarked. Judging by the misaligned holes, I'd say it's a no name, homemade. Here's a little pocket rule. Interesting one. Oh, this is a Stair. That's going to be a nice little piece. Might even be a collectible. Here we go. Nice Craftsman Tap Wrench. And this one is just marked USA. And this one is number 329, Vermont. So it might be Vermont American. This is a edge finder, maker unknown. Oh yeah, I had one of these before. This is kind of a cool little thing. It's a pin vise, double-headed pin vise. So you got one size collet in one end and one size collet in the other end. I do not recall if the last one I had was marked in any way to indicate who made it. This one also appears to be no name, or unmarked I should say. This is a feeler gauge set. It's a Craftsman. It's actually a nice one. I have so many of them though, I'll probably sell that one. Then, yeah, very unusual caliper. Dividers, calipers, and things like that I usually do not bother with. This was in the box. I didn't even notice this. I just dumped out the contents of the toolbox, all the drawers into the box, because that was the deal. And this is something interesting. I do not think... I tell you what, I think there's a cutter here. I think I've seen one of these before. I think this is for cutting. I think this is for cutting glass tube. I think if you buy glass in tubes that needs to be cut to length for maybe sign manufacturing, or is it maybe ceramic insulators for... No, I honestly don't remember. But I think this is a stop you set for the height that controls how far this goes in. And then this clamps down and you run it around like that, and this scribes the inside of the glass. That's what I think this is. Let's see what else is in this box. Got another edge finder, another unmarked edge finder. Combination center drills. Brand new, looks like. Get some more of those there. Got a funky kind of tap wrench here. Got a little insert tool holder for a lathe. Got a couple scales. Look at that big center drill. Chuck key. Oh, this is nice. These punches right here. These are all of these punches I think are Stairits. They're in great shape. So I got quite a few of those in here mixed in with this stuff. And then we got a couple of nice little, well, that's a drafting tool right there. But that is a little Toolmaker series divider. If it's a Stair-it, then that's a nice one. It's a Lufkin. That's alright. Got a couple of center gauges. Let's see, anything special about them. Got a Stair-it center gauge and a... Oh, another one of these Kasseri or Machine Company of Providence, Rhode Island ones. Must have been given out as premiums in this area or something. Look at that. That is radius gauge. That's the really tiny one that usually goes in its own separate compartment on those holders. If this says made in Germany, it probably belongs to that set. But no, it's a Lufkin 1/64. So that's going to be an orphan. All right. So let's see what else I got from this tractor show. Next up, I picked from a dealer this rusty tap wrench, but it's a Greenfield number 7, and even though it looks like heck, it's actually not frozen at all, and it's actually really in great shape underneath this surface rust. So I got this and this old square, which I caught my eye because I've never seen one with a design like this where it's got this slot. It's almost like a keyhole shape slot in it. I got the square and the tap wrench for $3. That's a good deal. Then I got these 3 incomplete punch sets and this Stair-it disc micrometer for $40. Now the disc micrometer is not worth that much. It's, you know, it's okay. But these drive pin punch sets that are incomplete, see that one's almost complete. It's a Stair though. This one I think is, the case is unmarked, but I think I noticed that these were also Stair. And this one here has got this little scriber, which actually the tip is just turned around, so a nice Stair scriber hiding in there. And this one caught my eye because it has 3 of these unusual square Stair punches, which I just recently sold one of these. Actually it's 4. That little tiny one is also a square one. I just sold one of these off recently. I'm wishing I had kept it. So my thinking was, you know, just in that box that I featured at the beginning here, I found all of these. And previously, I picked some rusty Stair punches with good tips on them. So my plan is to try and put together full sets. Then I got these 5 R8 collets. Some of them are a little beat up. That one's a genuine Bridgeport collet. I got these 5 R8 collets and these 2 random adjustable parallels for 10 bucks. This is a Brown and Sharp, and this one, believe it or not, is completely unmarked. Never seen an unmarked adjustable parallel. Then I bickered with the dealer, haggled with the dealer over this little cute 0 to 1/2 inch micrometer. He started up pretty high, and then eventually I went back and I got him to take 15 bucks for this. I probably overpaid for this actually, but I just thought it was really kind of neat. This one is marked Hoke Gyro Lock Tube Fittings of Cresskill, New Jersey. These are almost more of a collectible than an actual usable measuring tool. So anyways, we'll see. And then I got this really early Stair. I believe this is a Stair indicator that is kind of in rough shape. I'm sorry, no, this is an H. Koch and Son, Koch and Son of Nyack, New York. It's got a patent date of 1906 on it, but it's similar to a style of Stair indicator I had once before. Now, I did get the needle to move, but it's got some issues. I'm not sure if it's missing any parts or what's going on with it. But in an upcoming episode, I'm going to show where I just picked another one of these at a flea market in the original box, and that one definitely looked like it was missing some pieces. So maybe we can make one good used one out of 2. But I only paid 5 bucks for it, so I figured what the heck, took a chance on it. And then I got one more item to show you, and that's going to be it for this this pick. And this final item from this pick is actually one of the first items I bought early on in the day. Saw this at a dealer. I had not taken my pickup truck. So when I first saw this was actually on a nice thick wooden bench top with metal legs. They weren't like fancy cast legs or anything, so I wasn't too upset about the fact that I was going to end up having to leave the table there. Since I wasn't going to take the table with me anyways, he settled on taking 150 bucks for this lathe. So I ended up getting this little lathe for 150 bucks, and he kept the stand. It's got a small 3-jaw chuck on it right now. The jaws in this chuck are missing right now, but I actually have them in a little bag along with the chuck key. This is one of these scroll chucks that you just put a Tommy bar in. Let's see if I can figure out where I put that bag. So what this little cream puff is, because it has a center line distance of 3 inches from the center line of the chuck to the top of the ways here, is this is a Craftsman 6-inch swing lathe. It's got the old Craftsman label right here. This is not a change. This is not a quick change gearbox style lathe. This is a change gear lathe, which means originally there would have been a small stack of interchangeable gears that you would open this door and you would change these gears on the side here, which I'll show you in a moment. And that's how you would get the different feed rates for threading. On the apron here, there's just a half nut lever. You can disengage it and manually move the apron into a rough position and then engage it to the feed screw or the lead screw. And interestingly enough, you notice on there's no knob on the carriage to manually move it. It's actually on the end here is the lever. The hand wheel to rotate it manually. But I guess you have to disengage. So you unscrew this, pull this down the middle. That throws this into neutral, and now you can manually feed. That is a noisy gear train. Well, that sounds horrible. Like the mesh of these gears needs a little bit of attention. So here's a look at the end. So this little tumbler assembly right here that's actuated by this lever, which I have in the neutral position right now, it's disengaged from this. And then depending if I put it down in the lower hole or the upper hole, that determines which one of these two gears will be meshing, which determines whether it's going to be going forward or reverse. So this is how you reverse direction or put it in neutral. Over here, we have a threading chart, and it has diagrams, and it has all of the threads per inch that you want listed over here, and the feed rates listed, and how to get them with different gears. So you would end up having to change out probably this gear and this gear by the looks of it, and that would give you the different combinations. This bracket is made in a way so that it can be moved up and down, and this gear right here's point of rotation can be moved out as you change diameters of gears. Turned it around so we can see it from the back side to show that this has some sort of almost like a back gear mechanism built into it inside this area right here under this cover. Can't quite see what's going on in there. It might be like a sun gear or something, but that's evident by the fact that when I rotate this, there's not a one-to-one relationship between, this is not directly driving this pulley. You can see that pulley's actually rotating a lot faster than the chuck. Or if I rotate the pulley, I have to rotate the pulley a lot more to get the same amount of rotation out of the chuck. So we've got a reduction going on there, which is kind of neat. Usually that's done by a back gear, which has a second rod with 2 gears and a bull gear that has to be engaged. So there is a switch here. Not sure what we have to do to get that to, all right, maybe we unscrew it. There we go. Okay, so at some point I was able to rotate this so that it opened up a slot that allowed me to push this forward. Now if I tighten this back down, I'm probably going to be in, okay, I am locked at that point. Okay, that's locked up. So there's another knob right here. So you see there's another little knob right here. I'm venturing that this is, if I loosen this Allen screw that somebody stuck in here, there we go. There's the pin that locks the bull gear, for lack of a better term. So now I'm in 1-to-1. Huh. Not familiar with that particular system of doing things, but seems to work perfectly fine. So my plan is to sell this little lathe. I'm not going to make a ton of money on it, but I should do okay. I'm going to have to set it up on a bench. I did get the motor that the guy had with it, which has a step pulley on it to match this step pulley, and it also has a mount that, with these screwed down to the bench, got a pivot point that you can adjust the belt tension. And then also it was wired to a drum switch, which I haven't checked to see if it's actually a forward, reverse, or just an on-off. Chances are it's just an on-off, but this will make a nice little lathe for somebody. These little lathes like this, car trunk lathes I like to call them, they bring really good money, because you could have just a little spot in your apartment, for crying out loud, to run one of these. And sure, you could buy a cheap Taiwanese one, you know, a Harbor Freight job or whatever, do some work to it, tune it up, or you could put some work into some old American iron here and have yourself a decent lathe. This is weird how this chuck has this locking collar that locks the scroll up against the back of the jaws. See, right now it's not doing anything, so you have to get it to engage. Let's see, it's engaging there. Right, well, so I didn't do that right. There we go. And then you put a spanner on here and tighten this down, and that's what keeps that from being able to just get away from you, I guess. Funky. But it says Craftsman on it, so I think it might be the original chuck. Alright, so that's going to bring this episode to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Take care.